Thank you,
Socrates is
Jolie.
here. Socrates is here. We can start cat poems.
No. Gali wanted to read one poem more. She said
I don't
she
mean
can...
right now. I just mean now. After.
After. Okay, who wants to read the next poem? Aneka.
Gali wants. She wrote already on local chat. And Socrates is pouring and waiting for cat's poem. So cute is that?
Okay, Gali, the mic is yours.
Another lyric. I think I've read this one before. Okay, so again, a song before it sinks in by Moria. Suspended in the air, I hear myself breathing. Hanging by a thread, my heart is barely beating. I haven't fallen yet, but I feel it coming. Tell me, would it be too much to ask if you break it to me gently? That I'm waking the next day without you beside me. And who I hold in it today, tomorrow will just be a memory. And then I would look back at all of this and wonder why I stayed in here just to watch you disappear. So I breathe and let you go. How do I breathe and let you go? So before it's too late, I'll take a step away. I know one word would make me go rushing back to you. And I'll just shut my eyes, forget that you're mine. How do you go from making one your home and then just letting it all go? Let me take it in before it sinks in. Thank you.
Thank you, Gali, for sharing that with us. If anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. I want to read this one and then we'll start on the cat poems.
I have one before the cat poems.
Right, okay.
Go first.
This one is called A Smile That Melted My Heart. I was walking down a corridor back to my workplace, and just as I got level with the door in the corridor, it suddenly opened, and she stepped out of a room, and I was instantly in awe of her beauty. I was taken aback and mesmerized. It was but a moment, and yet time seemed to stand still. And all my heart could say was, wow, I've never ever touched it, yet she would become my muse. Where does this spark come from when it suddenly ignites? We can't say why, it just happens. It was as if by magic. She wasn't there, then suddenly she is. And yes, you are mesmerized and bewitched, albeit for a moment, when you see this auburn-haired beauty for the first time. Her smile takes your breath away. She can melt your heart away without even a word being spoken. Just a smile, and that smile lights up your life. I couldn't get her out of my head or out of my heart. And that's A Smile That Melted My Heart. Okay, Jolie, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Saber. Okay, while I was on the subject of grains of sand and millions of stars and cosmic things, I had to include this one. Okay, this is by Aleister Crowley, and it's called Long Odds. How many million galaxies there are? Who knows? And each has countless stars in it, and each rolls through eternities afar beneath the threshold of the infinite. How is it that with all that space to roam, I should have found this mote that spins and leaps in what unutterable sunlight, foam of what unfathomable starry deeps? Who knows? And how this 1,000,000,000 souls and 500,000,000,000 souls of earth that swarm, all bound for unimagined goals, all pioneers of death enrolled at birth, how were they swept away before my sight, that I might stand upon the single prick of infinite space and time as infinite? Who knows? Yet here I stand, climacteric, having found you. Was it by fall of chance? Then what a stake against the odds I have won. Was it determined in God's ordinance? Then wondrous love and pity for his son. Or was it part of an eternal law? Then how ineffably beneficent. Each thought excites an ecstasy of awe, a rapture rending the mind's firmament. Infinity, yet you and I have met. Eternity, yet hand in hand we run. All odds I should lose you or forget, but soul and spirit and body, we are one. Is this the child of chance or law or will? Is none or all or one to thank for this? It will not matter if thanksgiving fill the endless empyrean with a kiss. Back to you, Saber.
Thank you,
Meow.
Julie. Meow, yes, exactly. This one is called Mafia Cats by Roger McGuff. I'll just pop it in there. Copy. And paste. Mafia Cats by Roger McGuff. We're the Mafia Cats, Bugsy, Franco and Tony. We're crazy for pizza with hot pepperami. We run all the rackets from gambling to vice. On St. Valentine's Day we massacre mice. We always wear shades to show that we're meanies. Big hats and sharp suits and drive Lamborghinis. We're the Mafia Cats, Bugsy, Franco and Tony. The Sicilian wine and cheese macaroni. But we have a secret. If you dare tell, you'll end up with a kitten at the bottom of the well, or covered in concrete and thrown into the deep. For this is one secret you really must keep. We're the Costa Nostra, run the scams and the fiddles. But at home we are Mopsy, Ginger and Tiddles. Breathe one word and you're cat meat, okay? That's Mafia Cats by Roger McGuff. Next reader, please.
I am going to read something, and it was a beautiful reading, Sabra.
Okay.
I will read this poem in English, and I hope Angel can read this one in Spanish. I'm sending it now to her. Okay. And I will paste both versions now on local chat. Just 1 second, please. And welcome, Evelyn. It's nice to see you again in Sparta. Okay, guys, I got it. A poem is called If You Forget Me by Pablo Neruda. I want you to know one thing. You know how this is if I look at the crystal moon, at the red branch of the slow autumn, at my window, if I touch near the fire the impala blush or the wrinkled body of the log, everything carries me to you. As if everything that exists, aromas, lights, metals, were little boats that sail toward those isles of yours that wait for me. Well, Now, if little by little you stop loving me, I shall stop loving you little by little. If suddenly you forget me, do not look for me, for I shall already have forgotten you. If you think it long and mad the wind of banners that passes through my life, and you decide to leave me at the shore of the heart where I have roots, remember that on that day, at that hour, I shall lift my arms and my roots will set off to seek another land. But if each day, each hour you feel that you are destined for me, with implacable sweetness, if each day a flower climbs up to your lips to seek me, oh my love, on my own, in me all that fire is repeated, in me nothing is extinguished or forgotten. My love feeds on your love, beloved, and as long as you live, it will be in your arms without leaving mine. And it was Pablo Neruda. If you forget me, and now I invite Ale Angel to read the Spanish version of this beautiful poem. Thank you, guys.
Well, esto es Si tú me olvidas de Pablo Neruda. Quiero que sepas una cosa. Tú sabes cómo es esto. Si miro la luna de cristal, la rama roja del lento otoño en mi ventana, si toco junto al fuego la impalpable ceniza o el arrugado cuerpo de la leña, todo me lleva a ti, como si todo lo que existe, aromas, luz, metales, fueran pequeños barcos que navegan hacia las islas tuyas que me aguardan. Ahora bien, si poco a poco dejas de quererme, dejaré de quererte poco a poco. Si de pronto me olvidas, no me busques, que ya te habré olvidado. Si consideras largo y loco el viento de banderas que pasa por mi vida, y te decides a dejarme a la orilla del corazón en que tengo raíces, piensa que en ese día, a esa hora, levantaré los brazos y saldrán mis raíces a buscar otra tierra. Pero si cada día, cada hora, sientes que a mí estás destinada, con dulzura implacable, si cada día sube una flor a tus labios a buscarme, ay amor mío, ay mía, en mí todo ese fuego se repite, en mí nada se apaga ni se olvida, mi amor se nutre de tu amor, amada, y mientras vivas, estará en tus brazos sin salir de los míos. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine and Ale Angel, for sharing that with us. If anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so.
I can do another one for Socrates.
Okay, Joe, the mic is yours.
2 comments first. Since I started with T.S. Eliot, Preludes, and also the lyrics from Memory, which were based on his Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. This is a poem from that book. And this is The Naming of Cats by T.S. Eliot. Oh, the second thing I was going to mention is that the last poem I read had ineffable in it. Whenever I hear that word, I think of this poem. The Naming of Cats. The naming of cats is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think at first I'm as mad as a hatter when I tell you a cat must have 3 different names. First of all, there's a name that the family use daily, such as Peter, Augustus, Alonzo, or James, such as Victor or Jonathan, George or Bill Bailey, all of them sensible everyday names. There are fancier names if you think they sound sweeter, some for the gentlemen, some for the dames. such as Plato, Admetus, Electra, Demeter, but all of them sensible everyday names. But I tell you, a cat needs a name that's particular, a name that's peculiar and more dignified. Else how can he keep up his tail perpendicular, or spread out his whiskers, or cherish his pride? Of names of this kind I can give you a quorum, such as Monkey Strap, Quaxo, or Coricapat, such as Bombalurina, or else Jelly Lorum. Names that never belong to more than one cat. But above and beyond, there's still one name left over, and that is the name you never will guess. The name that no human research can discover.
Back later.
Saber, your mic is on. But above and beyond, there's still one name left over, and that is the name that you never will guess. But the cat himself knows. Oh wait, the name that no human research can discover, but the cat himself knows and will never confess. When you notice a cat in profound meditation, the reason I tell you is always the same. His mind is engaged in a rapt contemplation of the thought of his name. His ineffable, ineffable, deep and inscrutable singular name. Love that.
Thank you, Joey. Sorry my mic was on while you were reading, but the phone went off and I had to tell my brother I'd phone him back later, and then he phoned me back again, so I had to stop it. Okay, this is called Shower Explanation for Cats by Rick Lupert. Shower explanation for cats. I slid open the shower door, and there are my two cats, looking at me, as if to ask, what the hell were you just doing in there? So I explained to them, you know how you two lick each other to get clean? Well, at this point, I point to the shower. This is like a giant licking machine. Cleopatra, the older cat, cocks her head, as if to ask me, why don't you get someone else to lick you, and you could lick them in return? I thought that's why you brought home Tigger, referring to the younger cat. So I explained to them, I've been trying to get someone like that. It's not easy with us humans. There is no cat-like understanding that two humans will automatically lick each other when paired off. You cats have it easy with, oh, you're another cat. We will now lick each other. We humans don't have that. Cleo cat cocked her head the other way, as if to reply, well, why don't you lick yourself? I spend most of my day doing that. Why don't you? And I again answered her head-cocked query. Cleo, if I could do that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And that is Shower Explanation for Cats by Rick Lupert.
Did you see your I am from me, Saber?
Not yet.
Please look. I have a poem while you're looking, unless someone else would like to read. No takers? Okay. Then.
I see it.
Okay. This is by Alistair Reid. It's called Curiosity. Curiosity may have killed the cat, Whoops, I didn't put it in chat. Boop, bad me. Okay, here you go. I shall start over. Curiosity may have killed the cat. More likely, the cat was just unlucky, or else curious to see what death was like, having no cause to go on licking paws or fathering litter on litter of kittens predictably. Nevertheless, to be curious is dangerous enough. To distrust what is always said, what seems, to ask odd questions, interfere in dreams, leave home, smell rats, have hunches. Do not endear cats to those doggy circles where well-smelt baskets, suitable wives, good lunches are the order of things, and where prevails much wagging of incurious heads and tails. Your mic is on, Saber.
Sorry.
Face it, curiosity will not cause us to die, only lack of it will. Never to want to see the other side of the hill, or that improbable country where living is an idol, although a probable hell, would kill us all. Only the curious have, if they live, a tale worth telling at all. Dogs say cats love too much, are irresponsible, are changeable, marry too many wives, desert their children, chill all dinner tables with tales of their 9 lives. Well, they are lucky. Let them be 9-lived and contradictory, curious enough to change, prepared to pay the cat price, which is to die and die again and again, each time with no less pain. A cat minority of 1 is all that can be counted on to tell the truth. And what cats have to tell on each return from hell is this: that dying is what the living do, that dying is what the loving do, and the dead dogs are those who do not know that dying is what, to live, each has to do. Back to you.
Thank you, Joey. If anybody has a poem that they would like to share, by all means, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be a poet to share poetry, but you do have to have a love for the spoken word and a willingness to share. And at the moment we're doing cat poems, so this is called A History of One Tough Motherfucker by Charles Bukowski. It came to the door one night, wet, thin, beaten and terrorized, a white cross-eyed tailless cat. I took him in and fed him, and he stayed, grew to trust me, until a friend drove up the driveway and ran him over. I took what was left to the vet, who said not much chance. Give him these pills, his backbone is crushed. But it was crushed before and somehow mended. If he lives, he'll never walk. Look at these x-rays, he's been shot. Look here, the pellets are still there. Also, he once had a tail. Somebody cut it off. I took the cat back. It was a hot summer, one of the hottest in decades. I put him on the bathroom floor, gave him water and pills. He wouldn't eat. He wouldn't touch the water. I dipped my finger into it and wet his mouth, and I talked to him. I didn't go anywhere. I put in a lot of bathroom time and talked to him and gently touched him. And he looked back at me with those pale blue crossed eyes, and as the days went by he made his first move, dragging himself forward by his front legs. The rear ones wouldn't work. He made it. to the litter box, crawled over and in. It was like the trumpet of a possible victory, blowing in that bathroom and into the city. I related to that cat. I'd had it bad. Not that bad, but bad enough. One morning he got up, stood up, fell back down, and just looked at me. You can make it, I said to him. He kept trying, getting up, falling down. Finally he walked a few steps. He was like a drunk. The rear legs just didn't want to do it. And he fell again. Rested, then got up. Now you know the rest. You know the rest. Now he's better than ever before. Almost toothless, but the grace is back, and that look in his eyes never left. And now sometimes I'm interviewed, they want to hear about life and literature, and I get drunk and hold up my cross-eyed, shot, run-over, detailed cat, and they said, look at this. But they don't understand. They say something like, you say you've been influenced by Celine. No, I hold up the cat. By what happens, by things like this, by this, by this. I shake the cat, hold him up in the smoky and drunken light, and he relaxes. He knows it's then that the interview ends, although I'm proud sometimes when I see the pictures. Later, and there I am, and there is the cat, and we are photographed together. He too knows it's bullshit, but that somehow it works. And that's the history of One Tough Motherfucker by Charles Bukowski. Okay, Elaine, the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Sabra. It was a nice cut poem. I have a poem that Fania gave me to read, so I will read this one for you. Also reading this one first time ever, so please bear with my broken English. However, I try my best. And here it is, poem written by Allama Muhammad Iqbal. Don't know if I spelled it correctly. It has no title. Oh candle, why does the moth love you? Why is this restless soul devoted to you? Your charm keeps it restless like mercury. Did you teach it the etiquette of love? It
Circumambulates.
Baby, you read it, Jolly, please. And I am so bad with spelling in English. I give the mic to you.
That's a
Thanks
tough
very
one,
much.
huh?
Yes, it is very.
It circumambulates in the sight of your manifestation. It is inspired with the fire of your lighting. Is it inspired with the fire of your lighting? Wait a minute, I have to stretch this. I'm sorry. Okay. Is it inspired with the fire of your lightning? Do the woes of death give it the peace of life? Does your flame possess the quality of eternal life? If you do not brighten this sorrowful world, this burning heart's tree of longing may not green up. Falling before you is the prayer of this little heart. The taste for impassioned love knows this little heart. It has some zeal of the primeval beauty's lover. You are a small ner. It is a small kalam, the moth, and the taste for the sight of the light, this small insect, and the longing for the light. Allama Muhammad Iqbal. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you, Elaine and Jolie, for sharing that with us. Does anybody have a poem that they would like to share?
I did have one pulled up that I was going to read.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to...
Did you want to
that?
go over a few more minutes or not? Because I can ask El Angel if she'd like to read the Spanish if you want.
Okay, we can have this one longer, and then we have to finish the event because we have a command meeting soon.
Okay.
But you can read this one, Jolie. It's not a problem.
All right, I'm just getting the Spanish. I found the German. Darn it. Saber, can you give El Angel the Spanish for poem number 20, please?
Right, just a minute.
Thank you. Okay, this is Pablo Neruda. I'm putting it in chat. Poem number 20, from 20 Love Poems and a Song of Despair. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. Write, for example, the night is starry and the stars are blue and shiver in the distance. The night wind revolves in the sky and sings. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. I loved her, and sometimes she loved me too. Through nights like this when I held her in my arms, I kissed her again and again under the endless sky. She loved me. Sometimes I loved her too. How could one not have loved her great still eyes? Tonight I can write the saddest lines, to think that I do not have her, to feel that I have lost her, to hear the immense night still more immense without her. And the verse falls to the soul like dew to the pasture. What does it matter that my love could not keep her? The night is starry and she is not with me. This is all. In the distance, someone is singing. In the distance. My soul is not satisfied that it has lost her. My sight tries to find her as though to bring her closer. My heart looks for her. She is not with me. The same night whitening the same trees, we of that time are no longer the same. I no longer love her, that's certain. But how I loved her. My voice tried to find the wind to touch her hearing. Another's. She will be another's, as she was before my kisses. Her voice, her bright body, her infinite eyes. I no longer love her, that's certain. Maybe I love her. Love is so short. Forgetting is so long. Because through nights like this one, I held her in my arms. My soul is not satisfied that it has lost her. Though this be the last pain that she makes me suffer, and these the last verses that I write for her.
Okay.
El Angel, do you have it?
Yeah, acá. I have it.
I know you can read it beautifully, I've heard you.
Yeah. Bueno, esto es de 20 poemas de amor y una canción desesperada. Esto es el poema 20. Puedo escribir los versos más tristes esta noche. Escribir, por ejemplo, la noche está estrellada y tiritan azules los astros a lo lejos. El viento de la noche gira en el cielo y canta. Puedo escribir los versos más tristes esta noche. Yo la quise y a veces ella también me quiso. En las noches como esta la tuve entre mis brazos. La besé tantas veces bajo el cielo infinito. Ella me quiso y a veces yo también la quería. ¿Cómo no haber amado sus grandes ojos fijos? Puedo escribir los versos más tristes esta noche, pensar que no la tengo, sentir que la he perdido, oír la noche inmensa, más inmensa sin ella, y el verso cae al alma como al pasto el rocío. ¿Qué importa que mi amor no pudiera guardarla? La noche está estrellada y ella no está conmigo. Eso es todo. A lo lejos alguien canta. A lo lejos, mi alma no se contenta con haberla perdido. Como para acercarla, mi mirada la busca. Mi corazón la busca y ella no está conmigo. La misma noche que hace blanquear los mismos árboles. Nosotros, los de entonces, ya no somos los mismos. Ya no la quiero, es cierto, pero cuánto la quise. Mi voz buscaba el viento para tocar su oído. De otro, será de otro, como antes de mis besos. Su voz, su cuerpo claro, sus ojos infinitos. Ya no la quiero, es cierto, pero tal vez la quiero. Es tan corto el amor y es tan largo el olvido, porque en noches como esta la tuve entre mis brazos. Mi alma no se contenta con haberla perdido. Y aunque este sea el último dolor que ella me causa, y estos sean los últimos versos que yo le escribo. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you, A.R. Angel, for reading that. Okay, this brings us to the end of the event, and Naka has a meeting and we have to go. So stay safe, everyone. We'll see you next week for another hour of poetry.
Thank you very, very, very much, Jolly and Sabra, for leading this event each week for so many months now. I'm very grateful for that. And thank you, everyone who joined us today.
We had such a wonderful crowd today. Thank you all for coming. Yes, wonderful. I think this is the best we've had.
Oh, I don't know.
Most
Yes,
people.
maybe.
I counted 15 or 16. That's amazing.
Yes. I know, right?
Bravo, everybody. And thank you, Helene, for offering this venue for us to do poetry every week. It's a pleasure.
That's my honor to do that. See you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, folks. See you all later. Thank you for joining us.
Saber, I'll meet you at home.
Yes, Yoli.